And mind you, I went into Peaky Blinders knowing next to nothing. I'd maybe seen an image or two from the show by happenstance throughout the years prior to my viewing, so I was essentially only aware that the early-ish 20th century set series dealt in gangsters and the brilliant Cillian Murphy, and that was enough for me to at least check out the pilot. What instantly drew me to this Stephen Knight-created series was the magnificent and immersive production design. There isn't a single moment within this period piece that feels modern or inauthentic. The direction is striking, stylistic, overflowing with substance and purpose, and is simultaneously unique and organic, thanks to the brilliantly talented Tom Harper as well as Otto Bathurst. The music, both the score and collection of pre-existing tracks, is simply excellent and integral to the show's overall impact. The title track, of which were interestingly provided alternate renditions, is fittingly cool and moody. I now no longer associate it with that quaintly ridiculous scene from one of cinema's classic comedies, Dumb and Dumber. We're even ultimately given Black Sabbath, Queens of the Stone Age, David Bowie, while the original score is consistently compelling, and it's most effective, in my opinion, when it's small and beautifully haunting. The entirety of the ensemble act their asses off, the primary quintet consisting of Tommy, Arthur, Polly, Campbell, and Grace. Thomas Shelby is our quietly complex central character, portrayed by frequent Christopher Nolan collaborator and relatively recent Academy Award winner Cillian Murphy. The man is so often stoic, but there is still so much pent-up emotional turmoil bubbling behind his brilliantly weathered eyes. Arthur Shelby is Tommy's older, far more overtly troubled brother. This admittedly endearing, bulldog-esque, damaged wildcard is exceptionally played by Paul Anderson, who was initially, but unknowingly, introduced to me via 2011's underrated financial hit, Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows. The pair of brothers, subtly but exceedingly intimidating and jaded Aunt Polly, was played by late great actress and Harry Potter alumnus Helen McCrory. Now, I knew Sam Neill to be a solid performer prior to his Peaky Blinders presence, but his turn as Chester Campbell was quite the fucking revelation to me. This fervent bastard is a ruthless, unhinged lawman with a commanding and captivating presence. Annabelle Wallis was new to me personally. She wonderfully and believably played the sweet but slick, initially undercover agent Grace, as was Charlie Creed Miles, the charismatic performer playing secondary antagonist to the primary chief inspector, Billy Kimber. The masterfully built narrative is whip-smart, tight, and perpetually engaging. This concise series is packed to the brim with gangsters and gambling and death and general illegality, so the stakes are suitably high as a kite. Peaky Blinders is appropriately and practically endlessly dangerous, but this isn't some sort of boorish, blockheaded, needlessly brutal bloodfest. The Peaky powers that be perfectly toe the line in terms of the depiction of violence. You're never desensitized to it. It continues to be shocking up until the 36th and final televised hour is complete. A story component that is instantaneously taken advantage of is the post-World War I setting / ever-present backdrop. Every character that fought in the Great War, which is many of them, is facing some level of trauma. Danny Whizbang almost instantly has an uncontrollable, gun-wielding outburst. Arthur ultimately heads down a path of self-destruction involving drink and drugs and depression, whilst Tommy simply and bluntly claims to be dead. Mr. Murphy's eyes throughout the series forever emanate this intriguing combination of pain and power. This premiere season encapsulates a brilliant 6-part Peaky commencement. Thomas Shelby, whom we see develop a tremendously captivating rivalry with Douche Campbell, defeats the entertaining bastard Billy Kimber with a bullet to the head, whilst Danny is sadly shot and killed. All the while, we conclude this season, or series, with a truly awesome cliffhanger, a rather shocking confrontation. We witness a tete-a-tete between Grace and her former employer and insanely creepy admirer, Chester, the latter suddenly being shown with a gun in hand. A moving train then proceeds to obscure our view before we hear a gunshot, then cut to credits.